Good evening, Southwest New Brunswick. This is NewsBreak26. I'm Vicki Hogarth, and here's what's happening in our part of the world. MP Karen Ludwig returned home from a trip to Washington, D.C. last week. Ludwig is one of 7 members of the Canadian government's International Trade Committee, who met with Democrats and Republicans to negotiate ending the trade dispute over retaliatory tariffs placed on steel and aluminum. Ludwig has served on the International Trade Committee for the last 3.5 years and has seen the negative effects of recent trade wars in North America.
When we look at where we are as a nation, we are stronger together than apart. When we look at what we build in Canada, in the United States, and even Mexico, we build things together. There are very few items that are actually built in one location. Sometimes they go back and forth. We need to get our own work in order and, not only renew our relationship, but strengthen our relationship, because if we're a strong North American market, we're really a force to be reckoned with.
Canada and the U.S. reached an agreement on Friday to lift the import duties on steel and aluminum, first initiated by Donald Trump nearly a year ago. Parliamentary Secretary for Infrastructure and Communities, Marco Mendicino, visited Southwest New Brunswick for the second time in 2019. Mendicino spent much of his time with mayors of St. Stephen, St. Andrews, and Macadam, visiting local sites and discussing climate change adaptation for the province.
Climate change is real. It's having a dramatic impact on people's lives, whether it's on displacing people from their homes or interrupting businesses or essential government services. We're here as the Government of Canada to work with the province of New Brunswick and the town of St. Andrews and right across the province to ensure that we are building the appropriate water systems and flood mitigation systems to help protect Canadians.
Music and outdoor festival Paddlefest descended upon St. Andrews this past Victoria Day weekend. Co-founder of the festival, Bruce Smith, made his annual tradition of kicking off the festival with a paddle from Deer Island to St. Andrews.
And paddling across today, you couldn't see any development, and the mountains and the wildlife are things that really, bring me back to this part of the world, because it's one of the most unique marine ecosystems on the planet.
Bruce wasn't the only one returning to St. Andrews for Paddlefest. 2017 headliner Joel Plaskett happily accepted the invitation to return this year. Plaskett played Paddlefest with his band The Emergency just 2 years ago, so this time he brought a different co-headliner, his dad.
And I knew that if coming back with Dad, it'd be a different show. And so I was honored to get the invite and figured I didn't have to, it didn't take too much convincing.
He didn't have to convince me. The truth of the matter is, I got an email from Sherry, Joel's manager, I'm sorry, and she said, "You available on, what's today's date? Yeah, May the something, whatever it is, And
I communicate with him exclusively.
And I said, yes, and that was it, without really knowing what it was,
Look for CHCO's full half-hour interview with Joel and Bill Plaskett on an upcoming episode of Southwest Magazine. That's all the news I have for you. For more stories and online exclusives, follow us on Facebook at CHCO.TV.
A news and public affairs production of CHCO-TV, New Brunswick's only source for independent community television.